Superteabag!
Strike and I decided to try Orcs Must Die 3, and to be honest, we thought we'd perhaps play it for an hour or so, then move on to something else. 5 hours later we were still burning, flinging, smashing and zapping orcs. It's safe to say we found this game a lot of fun. I've always been a fan of the Orcs Must Die franchise. There's just something satisfying about planning your traps and defeating the oncoming army of orcs. I did however wonder how Orcs Must Die 3 would change things up and keep things interesting. One new addition to the game is the large-scale war scenario maps. These scenarios bring larger maps, additional traps and an increase in enemies, as well as mountable weapons letting you do things like catapult explosive barrels. We found that the war scenarios broke up the standard maps just often enough to keep the game interesting. Aside from the standard campaign, there's also an endless mode, weekly challenges and a scramble mode, so there's plenty to keep you coming back to the game. At the start of each round, there's a helpful orc silhouette which indicates the route that they will take, sometimes coming from one area of the map, sometimes coming from multiple areas. This helps you plan where best to place your traps and barricades. In easy mode you have unlimited time to decide where to place everything, but on harder difficulties and in some other game modes you have limited time, giving the game an added sense of urgency. Anything that isn't killed by the traps you need to try and take out using your character's weapons, which there are several to unlock and use. The new characters in Orcs Must Die 3 were fun to play. It was enjoyable using and levelling up the likes of the bow and the blunderbuss, but to be honest we didn't find much use for the special moves. Things like hovering around the map never really seemed to come in useful. The game really keeps things interesting with the sheer number of traps, trinkets and upgrades you can purchase and unlock. There are so many different and sometimes humorous ways to defeat the orcs that it makes you want to keep playing to unlock the next trap or upgrade just to see what it does. I personally found it very satisfying and amusing, using the flip traps to send the orcs flying back to the start of the trap layout for a double dose of punishment, throw them into the grinders, or simply catapult them off the map entirely. So far I've played around 5 hours of the game with Strike in co-op, and then several more hours solo. The game is still really fun in solo, but I think it's definitely more enjoyable in co-op, especially when you have a buddy in the war scenarios to man the turret or barrel launcher, while you frantically add traps around the map and try to stop the orcs breaching the doors. Orcs Must Die 3's story isn't particularly gripping, but to be honest, the story isn't the main draw in a game like this. The gameplay is so much fun, we just wanted to jump into the next map and destroy some more orcs. Orcs Must Die 3 is an enjoyable game either in co-op or playing solo. The amount of unlockables and game modes will definitely give you a reason to come back and play again after completing the campaign. If you enjoy this genre, we definitely recommend checking out this game. We give it a Superteabag score of
7.5 out of 10 teabags.